Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful day, and it's the beginning of the new week. I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I'd like to welcome you all back to my channel on YouTube. I am Spirit to Spirit, going within self. On TikTok, I am 1974 Enlightened, and I'm also live on my Facebook. If you're new to my channel, I always suggest that people go read the description on my YouTube channel, Spirit to Spirit, teaches going within self in order to understand what my channel is about. Um, it, it comes off in many different ways. And today, this is part 5 of the spiritual awakening. And in this one, I'm talking about hypocrites. Because there's a lot of it right now. I've been a hypocrite in before and in past parts of myself as I've come through my spiritual journey. It's a part of being able to give advice, but you never take it yourself. You're always like being hypocritical, saying, "Oh, you should do this, you should do that," but you're not doing it yourself. So that becomes a hypocritical thing, and it works both ways. Okay, with regards to doing or not doing, saying you don't do something that you do, or you didn't do something that you did do. So it becomes very hypocritical. I've been observing it more often. First with myself, and then when I realized what I was doing and making the changes. Um, I was today it was a topic about explaining different feelings that people that we get and what have you. And back in my days, I was going to the bar, and at one point, um, when I was in my early 20s, I dated a stripper, and I went to the strippers once, and some people will frown on that. I have one individual in my life, and it gets really heated sometimes because they become a hypocrite. It's like, well, I didn't talk to the people. It's like, fuck, you didn't, because this person told me that when they were in the military and they go on ports, the guys would go to the strippers, and he would tell this person would tell me, well, I wasn't looking at them, I wasn't talking to them. Bullshit, you weren't. And it's the same as like because of the bar that I went to, which was, I mean, like there was a lot of like people in there trying to get laid and everything like that, and what have you, and then this person would say about where I was hanging out, but when I met them, well, oh my gosh, the place that they were hanging out, I mean, right in front of, they were slinging drugs, and they like it was where the prostitutes, the strippers, the drug deal, everything like that hung out. That's the people they would hang out with. It's like, it's that part of when I'm not Bible thumping or anything like that. It's like when they speak of Jesus, Yeshua, however you say his name, he was hanging out with, what was it? Said prostitutes and things like that to try and help them. It was to help them, not to blend, like, to blend in with, like, not to, like, be part of it. But this person, he would say, "Oh, well," like he would throw shade because, like, I went to the strippers here about 2 months ago or thereabouts because I went with a friend because the friend wanted to go, and I was going to like make sure they were okay because it's part of the lessons we learn. We go to certain things, and like like when I said about going to the strippers, this person that is very hypocritical said like was really pissed off, and I'm not even in a relationship, and you're this person that would go to all these bars where the strippers and the drug dealers and the escorts and everything would hang out. So it's like you hung out with these people, but you're saying that You didn't socialize with them, which that's bullshit because this person took me to these places. So I know that they were socializing with them. And I don't hold that stuff against anyone because I know that when you're into this stuff, you're what have you. I know that it stems from stuff that we experienced when we were younger. Some of us grew up in that environment, so it become a normal thing. So when people sit that I've observed and seen them and been around them when they were doing it, and then years later tell me that like that no, like I'm going to throw shade on you and tell you that you're this or you're that or that's disgusting or what have you. When you were fucking hanging around with those people, then I guess you were pretty fucking disgusting too, weren't you? And this is a spirit to spirit, and that spirit knows who I'm talking to. So it's that part of, why don't you get your fucking head out of your ass and stop criticizing and hypocriting everybody else when you fucking did the same thing, when you did it yourself? And you try saying that you didn't. Oh, I was just there because everybody else was there. No, you were there because you were there. You were drinking your face off. And when I met you, you were still doing the same fucking thing. So, like, you know, seriously, you're the one that thinks you're all fucking holier than thou. It's a good thing, should I come out and I'm able to say the shit I did. I hung out with. I admitted that I in ways I came off as a real slut, but it was when I was and it was when I was drinking. Because when you're drinking and you're using shit piles of drugs, it lowers your self esteem. And when when this person is freaking throwing shade on these people, it's like do you know their life? Do you know their past? Do you know what they're fucking going through? Like I have a friend. She's full of tattoos, and she feels like she's being judged by her tattoos, like she's this rough, tough, badass bitch. When I know her inside, and she's fucking soft as gold. And if she fucking like had at something, it was because she was defending herself. And then people look at me because I have no tattoos, I have no visible scars on the outside of me that, oh, well, you don't fucking know shit. Like, who are you to say shit? You don't know what I went through. You don't know what was on the inside. And do you know why I'm so fucking whoo? Because there's parts of me where I can fucking literally rip somebody a whole new arsehole. And it's the ones that are hypocritical and want to throw shade on people that they know fuck all about. And then they forget where they came from. And they are the ones that act all holier than thou and think they're so fucking righteous when they're no better. Because everybody has gone through this, no matter whether it's this timeline of what you're living or whether it's a past or future timeline that you've gone through. You're experiencing it to learn fucking lessons, so you're not so damn hypocritical. But you got the ones that they want to throw shit and shade on somebody because they don't want to look bad. But hey, my heart's there. My heart is out there. It's that part of looking at somebody and saying, like, how can I judge that person when I don't know what they've been through? I don't know their past. I spoke to other people. They have mother wounds and have father wounds somewhere because like of what they experienced. Of a mother not defending them, or a mother beating the shit out of them, or a father not defending them, or a father beating the shit out of them, or the whole or it becomes what you see between the mother and father, and what you see between the siblings. And sometimes people get divided. It's like, hey, you're throwing shade on the fucking people that you hung around with. And, like they'll even say about nerds, smart people, what they like, what they perceive to be smart people, they throw shit at them. Or when you got people that, oh, they went to university, but because somebody didn't go to college or university, they're a piece of shit and they know nothing. When those people are the ones that know more than what you fucking give them credit for, because they are the ones that have the fucking street smarts. They don't look at other people and think that they're better, but some people will look at me because I can feel it. They look at me and think because I have no visible scars or I look like you little Miss Prissy. I ain't little Miss Prissy. I can be because I'm comfortable within my own skin. Whereas before, was I? No, because I always felt like I had to fit in with everybody else. It's like, no, it's not about fitting in with everybody else. And it's not a like saying and having people think that, oh, you're holier than thou when you were a fucking piece of shit yourself. Because we've all been pieces of shit in one period of our life or another, whether anybody wants to admit to it or not. Well, then don't come in if you think I'm angry. I just had it with fucking hypocrites. So, there's the door. Go back out it. I didn't invite you in. You decided to come in here. Not being rude, but I guess maybe you have some inner work to do. So, am I angry? No, I'm fed up. You ain't seen anger. So, are you my ex-husband or a form of him? Por eso because that's something he would say. But then they don't look at themselves because he was one fucking angry man. And then when you throw the shit back at people that they dish out at you because you get to a point where you've had enough of their fucking bullshit, that's the part that they don't know. Even when people like people like I have one woman who experiences my energy on an intense scale. And even when people express to this person, because what happens is you become a jealousy, but I'm telling you right now, everybody can do it. You're holding yourself back because you're too worried about what other people are going to think. Because you're able to be authentic. I'm a misfit. And I'm damn fucking proud of it. If people don't like people, I'm here to tell you, you're missing out on a pretty good person. The same as if people don't like you or you feel like they don't like you. If you stand out above everybody else and you're able to be authentic, people who are unable to be authentic in a healthy way. Mm-hmm. And then the people that are being authentic, and that's where you get that bullying. That's where you get throwing shade on something. Like I'm very appreciative and grateful of this person because yesterday they took me to a fair and they wouldn't normally like go on rides or anything like that because of the violence that comes with most of the rides. But they got on three of them. But the thing was that they said I was doing it for you. It's like seriously, don't use me as your reason for doing something. Don't use me as your fucking excuse so that later down the road you can say, oh well I'm hurting because I did this. Well don't fucking do it for me. Don't do it for somebody. If you're doing it, do it because you want to do it, not so that you can have something later to hold on someone and say, oh well I did this for you, I did that for you. It's like fucker, hey motherfucker, why don't you look at what I did for you? And this here channel is a spirit to spirit. It's not directed towards one person. So if you're feeling it, I guess you're attached to that spirit. Whether like I'll make you cry, I'll make you laugh. I'll piss you off, you'll wanna slap me, you'll wanna punch me up my upside my head, you'll even throw fucking psychic attacks and hate at me. That's okay, because I know it's not personal in that sense, it's not part of the spirit. I love this person whether, because I see them inside. Like, I see their true essence when they were younger, but it's that thing that it gets beat out of people because the people that cannot be authentic and be their, like, spiritual self, and then they end up with mental health problems, and that's the part of, like, when you, um, end up with mental health problems, because everyone has one form of mental health problems or another, whether it be addictions or insecurities. So when people say that they haven't, everybody has been a hypocrite. So I like yesterday, I was very appreciative and grateful for this person doing it because it was something that my inner child needed. And what I ended up doing, because I was nervous, I could feel the nervous, but I could feel their nervousness too of what they were going to experience afterwards. But I was feeling my nervousness of other people that were afraid of the rides or like the motion sickness or anything like that, of pain of the way you're flopped around. But what I ended up doing was I said to my inner child, because it's the adult that becomes afraid. The inner child is free and blossom, okay? They're ready to experience anything and everything for the most part, unless somebody makes them freeze, okay? So when I went on the ride, before getting on, I said, okay, it's my inner child that needs to come through now. My inner child wants to have the fun. So I need to give my inner child that experience of fun because I hadn't been on a ride in freaking years. And yesterday I went on 6 rides. And oh my gosh, like it was it was hurting, but it was a rush and fun at the same time. And to keep myself from vomiting or getting that nauseous feeling, I took hold of the energy. But when I tapped into the energy, I was tapping into the energy of my body because what makes you motion sickness is it's the imbalance within your system. It's the imbalance within your chakras. So when you can take that energy and you can balance that energy within yourself, you don't get that nausea. You actually take yourself out of your body in that aspect to keep you from having the motion sickness, and you put yourself in the flow of it. Because what I was doing was I was becoming the motion. I was becoming the flow. So when it was flowing, my entire body was flowing with it. So it's going through the experiences. When you're afraid of something, fear keeps you from experiencing something that could be actually enlightening or thrilling. It's that part of the endorphins, the adrenaline rush. And this person, like after they got on the last ride, the way it was going, it gave them motion sickness. They held on to it until they got away. And that's the part. Okay, yeah, I understand that, but I'm trying to. What I'm here to do is teach people how to step out of that fear aspect of it. Stop being hypocritical about stuff and start looking at your own life of what you experienced and remembering where you came from and what you went through, what you observed and seen, and stop throwing shit at somebody else. Yes, I already said at the beginning of this, I've been a hypocrite. Do I do things to experience it? Yes, I do. When I look around now and I feel like there's judgment coming up, that's where I go within myself to see, like, okay, why am I having this judgment? Look at something that you experienced in your life, even things that you've pushed down, because that's where hypocrites come from. We forget our own shit. But when this person, like, threw shade and then made an excuse and said, oh, well, I wasn't talking to them. Well, yeah, you were. I wasn't born yesterday. I hung around with you when you were doing it. It's that part of the one, excuse me, not the actual within the sense of mother, father, God, but the one that perceives himself to be the father, that perceives to be all holier than thou, was the biggest hypocrite of all. And, you know, some people won't like me saying that, but I don't care. Because it's that aspect of the truth hurts because the truth fucking hurt me. It's that part of being able to open your third eye and seeing truth. It's not about seeing all the darkness of what they say. It's you're seeing both sides of it. When you can actually see both sides of that person. You see their pain and you see how they're expressing that pain. So whenever I speak truth or I bring something forward, certain people don't like that. And then they try to throw shit on me and say that I'm the one doing it. And then I just look at that person and it's like, guess what? I guess I learned from the best, didn't I? It's like learning from the master. But master never likes the students who passes. But you know what? I'll tell you right now, if your student is not surpassing you, then you're not a very good fucking teacher. You're not a very good teacher. Because it's a part of you teaching the student, but then the student is going and seeing lesson, seeing something that is different that you're not seeing. So it's the student and teacher learning how to teach one another. Yeah. Like yesterday, I was being me, and someone I know, like they were standing there, and I told them that person they could do it themselves. Right? They're able to do it themselves, but they're just afraid because maybe what they were doing, they abused it. So they're standing there, and I was talking to this person, and the other person took, was talking about them, put their hand on my shoulder and turned their head. And the other person that I was talking to about it had said, I told them that this person could do it too. They looked at me and said, yeah, I can tell that they can't because they just turned their head. It's like everybody's trying to make money, but not realizing that the way to the stability, the abundance, is being authentic. It's not about beating people up. It's not about ridiculing people to make other people not like that person or trust them. Because everything right now is a competition. And, they'll fucking lie. Like people will lie about each other so that they look good themselves. That's not part of everybody's family blood. Like I said, I may not have a body full of tattoos. I may not have a bunch of physical scars or anything like that to tell my story of what I've been through. Because all mine was held internally. And then when I get pissed off, that's that inner child coming out and saying, "You're hurting me." Typically, when we suffer like more mental health issues, what they call mental health issues, but it's actually spiritual. And it manifests into more than what it should be. It's finding those spiritual guides, spiritual teachers that are open to all aspects of spiritual healing. A friend of mine, she talks to other people that are spiritual. Some people think that the Kundalini awakening, oh, that's demonic. Why is it demonic? Because it frees people from being part of a system that suppresses them. Is that why it's demonic? Like, basically, yeah. Hello? Who do you think are the ones that are telling you that it's demonic? It's the systems. The systems that want to keep you under thumb. There's a lot of people that wake up that are waking up to the truth of it because you are your divinity. You are the truth. You are those fairy tale stories. But they'll tell you that's fiction. But it's actually not. If you look at those stories and then you follow, like with regards to the Masons or Templars or the church or what have you, and I just felt that people don't like someone talking about Masons or Templars or the church or what have you, and that's because they're all fucking at each other's throats. But there's two sides to everything. Some Templars work with the church, some Templars work with the Masons, and sometimes they all work together because, in some aspects of it, they all originated from the church and broke off because of some light. Because the real church is here, and the real church, well, this is the temple, the church is the people, the community. They're coming together and helping one another, showing each other how to come out of the system, the limited beliefs, to expand and be open to everyone else's background, because in the end, it all comes back to where it started, and everyone was on the same page. But then it was somebody didn't want to share, and started taking the boot and putting it on other people, stepping on their throats, telling others, you need to bow to me, you need to kiss my boot. To that, I'd rather kiss my own boot with fucking shit on it. And don't try to make me kiss my boot with shit on it. Because that's metaphorically speaking. That's saying, you're not meant to be kissing anyone's boot but your own. Because no one can get you to God, spirit, source, to your divinity, but you. I can friggin', like, tell you how, like, different ways of doing it because everybody is different, and that's where the parts of, understanding each other's teachings, because no one teaching is wrong. It's all in the person and how they perceive it. It's like the biblical texts. There's so many different versions of things, but it's not about finding in a book. That's somebody else's experience, somebody else's teachings. Take what fits, but be open to other stuff. And that's how you come into your own enlightenment. With this person, the way they spoke to me and tried to make me feel like I was dirty because I went to a stripper and saying, "Oh, the fashion they're junk in your face," and everything like, dude, you were going out to a strip joint with a bunch of fucking men that you said were locked up in a sardine fucking can. It's like, don't tell me that you weren't looking, because I'm here to tell you everybody looks, but it's up to each individual to control themselves. Some will say, "Oh, well, a girl shouldn't dress this way," or what have you, and it's the part of, yes, people should be like, we look, but it's like, just because somebody looks one way, and it's like they say about being respectful of your own body. You can still show cleavage and be respectful of your body. It's not about going and dancing and flaunting it in that sense. But some are there because it's like, they got into a rut, and some people are doing it because they enjoy doing it. But a lot of time it's because they're like on substances, or they're trying to fill a void, or it's a wound. And it's that part of it can start like when it sometimes it starts from infancy, right from the time, for some people it's from the time they're born that abuse or at any point starts. Mental abuse is the worst thing. And because people are sharing their experiences, people are throwing shade on them because they're too fucking ignorant and hypocritical to look at their own stuff. Because it's that part of the untold stories. They want to hide their own truth, but they want to point at everybody else. It's like they're pointing at somebody else, and my cousin, and yeah, it's like they're pointing back at you. It's like you have religious text and what have you. They're always pointing at each other's religion, but when you go deep and you look within all those religions, they all have their own dirty secrets. They just hide, and then when others expose them, certain religions will actually, because family members don't have the same beliefs, they'll kick them out of their family. They want nothing more to do. It's like, seriously? You think you're a prophet? God is love and God is accepting of everybody's beliefs. And it's not about causing harm on other people to think that you're better than others. So, you know, oh, well, these people were doing this, so this is why we did this. It's like, well, those people could say the same thing back to you. It's that retaliation. And that's why history repeats itself, but now history is changing. And there's that reluctance to history changing because in order for history to change and stop repeating itself, it means that the good, the bad, and the ugly has to come forward. Not only about the systems, but our own behavior, our own belief systems that we get rid of it too, because we're told that you know you have to be this way. Like, no, it's seeing everything because no matter what way you look at it, everything has its good side and everything has its not so good side. And the not so good side is the parts that we don't even look at, which makes that the hypocritical aspect. Because we can be good, but then when we're taking, if you're an empath and you're taking on other people's stuff, it's like you're not supposed to take on, in that aspect, you're not supposed to take on their stuff. You're supposed to teach them how to heal it themselves. You're supposed to transmute it, shift it, move it, because that's not part of you. See, the one I was with yesterday on the rides. So, you're a badass bitch. Like, no, I'm not. It's not. It's not. I'm a badass bitch. It took a lot for me to understand and learn how to move it, how to transmute it, how to help others heal through their own energies, opposed to taking other people's from them and expecting others to take it on. It's not about somebody else being your savior. The savior is the one that teaches you how to save yourself. Because in the end, you're the only one that can help yourself. Because it's you as to whether or not you're going to come out of that, or if you're going to keep going back in. Put your hand, the person can put your hand in and pull you out. But how much do you have to pull you out before you realize that you are the savior? That may be true, exposed to you, but in the end, you are your savior. And when you move in a hypocritical state, you're not saving yourself. You're actually causing yourself more harm because you're hiding, you're trying to cover up and hide and not look at your own ugly issues. So that holds you back from being able to go forward physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually and have the abundance that you so desire. It is not about taking it from somebody else because it feels so much better when you are able to accomplish it by yourself. And like I said, guidance, but in the end, it's you who accomplishes it. It's like, say, when you go to university, who's doing the work? Who's doing the study? Who's doing going within and the understanding of it? You're the one that has to do that. But then it's part of seeing beyond just one thing is being taught. You wonder why, like, like structures and stuff like that, why they fall apart. They don't last anymore. It's because the math, like Terrence Howard, he said it's the math has changed. We always say that 1 times 1 is 0. When you have one, how even if you have one, how can you end up with fucking 0? Don't you have to take that one away to have nothing? So that's why things don't work out right. There's my youngest son. He does foundations, and he tried to explain to somebody that something was off even by a smidgen, but they got pissed off because he pointed that out. Well, that's the part where everything's crumbling, where nothing looks like nothing works out. It doesn't last because there's that part of the equation that people are missing because they don't want somebody telling them. You know, I was somewhere and I was looking at a building. And you know, they say the house that Jack built is crooked. Well, if you actually look at the building, you can actually see that even if it's off by a tiny smidgen, you can actually see it when you have the eyes to see. It's not about ridiculing somebody for it, because they were going by what they were taught how to figure something out. So when my son told me this, I was proud of him. It's not about making someone feel like they know nothing. It's about actually explaining it in a way that they can understand, or even going in and showing them. And some people, they're still set in a way. Some people think that, oh, to do it right, you have to do it the wrong way. No, it's for time management, because things are actually quite simple, but it's the human brain that makes it more complicating than what it needs to be, because it's always overthinking with the what if. What if this? What if that? It's a part of some can visualize before they put it into fruition. Nikola Tesla was one of them. And who knows, like, they say that it's geniuses when they just go and put something together. It's the reason why they can do it so easily is because they're seeing it done. They're seeing the bigger picture opposed to little pieces and trying to figure out where those pieces go. They see it all at once. And the person that I know that's very hypocritical, I know that they were doing that, but they got in their own fucking way because they got bitter. They even say about, like, they didn't want to work with anybody because it was like, if you don't do it my way, you're not doing it right. It's like, well, are you open to what other people have to say? Are you listening to your employees? Or are you just thinking that because you're the boss, you're always right about something? Well, and we wonder why our businesses or why our stuff goes tits up. Excuse the term, but sometimes you got to speak the language that other people week, goes belly up. Or you wonder why something's not working out. It's because you're looking at it through an analytical mind opposed to a common sense. And everything is not about work, 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 work. A lot of the time when we work, 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 it's because we're trying to distract ourselves from something that we don't want to do. We're trying to distract ourselves because we're not happy with where we are. So we consume ourselves into something that occupies us from looking at the stuff that we don't want to see. I said before, my channel's not for everybody, and if you think that I'm coming in here to judge you, well then go back out because you're totally wrong. It's a part of teaching how not to be judgmental, how to see it before you start judging, because it's not part of seeing yourself. We want to judge other people, be hypocritical with other people, but never really want to see ourselves. People criticize people for the way they look, and I get that feeling within my own body because I'm connected with spirit. Spirit is my teacher. Spirit is my guide. Spirit is my mother, my father, my grandparents, my brothers, my sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, the trees, the plants, the animals. And I'm constantly channeling it all. So if I come off as angry or a bitch, it's because I'm working to transmute and help others work through different aspects of self. Because it's aspects of yourself also. Because you're teaching yourself lessons. When you begin to realize that the heaviness that keeps you down, keeps you sick, that keeps you feeling like you're crippled and broken. When you start allowing yourself to look at it, see it, experience it, feel it, and work through it, then that's when that weight just starts. Those shadows start lifting off of you. Because when they start lifting off of you, that's those parts of you that are healing. And some people, they hold on to it because it's all they know. And it scares them to feel something else because they're not used to it. So it's scary. And trust me, I know like you don't have to trust me, but I'm saying that from my own experience of what I've been like working through, going through, and witnessing and seeing it, just all of it. And other people are experiencing it too. And they're expressing it to me. But then they're dismissing it because how can I be right? How can what I say be right? Because the system says it differently. Because the system is trying to feed off your energy. The system is trying to take your divinity, take your money, take your essence. So it keeps you in a hypocritical state of being. Keeps you in the fear and judgment, lust. And those are all the parts of the system. I did a video on the 7 deadly sins and how they fit into the systems. 7 chakras. psicolevati tutto adesso alla like there's something that I watch and I could go to them and say, hey, do you want to sort of know what something is telling you? Sometimes it's hard to like connect with those people, but like ones like myself, people will look at us and say, hey, you didn't even finish school. So what do you know? It's a part of I experienced it. That's how I know for myself. I experienced it. And you start experiencing it on yourself to see what you're experiencing and stop trying to overthink it and analyze it to the point where, you're fucking mad within yourself. It's like the part of telling others, oh, why don't you look at yourself? It's like, hey, you see what to say. Why don't you have a look at yourself? Because I'm seeing you just as clear as you think you're seeing me. Like I know in parts of myself that if you're not happy in the now that you're in, you want to be somewhere else or experiencing something else. We're actually doing that. And when you come into your divinity, you actually learn like, oh wow, shit, I know that. It's like, how did I know that? You knew that because it was that part of you that left and then came back home because you're home. It's finding your way home. It's finding your way back to yourself, to your divinity, to spirit. And you can be one of the ones that are not religious or atheists or what have you, because these teachings have nothing to do with religion or systems or anything. It has to do with you as a spirit, as a soul, as a, everything. And as you start looking at your own image, like this person that I say, we both know that we were both witches together, and we both got burned at the stake. But the real dark witchcraft is the pills that you're putting in your body, whether you want to believe that or not. The natural stuff is what our ancestors had liked. But I'm not saying that they weren't that at that time they weren't combining things together to make a poison. But that's the part of it that they now put into what we class as a poison. I don't take vitamins or anything. Once in a while, I did. But a lot of time I watch what I put in my body, and sometimes, I'll take some junk food because the inner child wants it. And if you suppress your inner child, that's the part where you're actually suppressing yourself as a spirit because we're here to experience different things. It's cleaning out your body, yes. But it's not about always being, oh, you gotta be an adult. Like, grow up. It's because when they say grow up, it's like, oh, you're not allowed to be a kid anymore. It's like, fine. With the mental health, they say bipolar and schizophrenia and psychosis and everything like that. but I'm on here explaining to you what it is that you're experiencing. You're fighting with different you're experiencing and fighting with different parts of yourself. And then sometimes you see those different parts of yourself. It's that spirit to spirit. I said it before, like when you're somewhere and like all of a sudden you feel like you've known somebody and you light up and everything like that, you both light up. It's because you had a good experience with that person. And then when you have it that, oh well, this person rubs me the wrong way, and you feel like you just want to punch them out there upside the head. It's not you, it's the spirit, it's the spirit. Because it goes heart to heart. The mind is more of a manipulation, but when you combine everything together and you align it all, and it's Iron Maiden shit, because it can be hard to work through feelings and emotions because we're told we have to stay in our head. You always got to think about it, remember it. It's like a traumatic experience happens or you lose something like that. Some people say, oh, well, go see a therapist or put it in your head, keep talking about it instead of feeling the emotions of it and allowing yourself to feel it so that you know that because a lot of people, when something passes or something happens, they feel like they're to blame because, oh, well, I didn't ask enough questions or I didn't do this, I didn't do that. It's not on you. It's those parts that, unless you cause that person that harm, when you worry, you over worry, and then you can draw that stuff. It draws it to you and it intensifies because it feels like that's what you want. It feels like that's what you want to experience, but it's actually a program. You know that there's people out there that like they look at me sideways. They don't like me. I had a guy that I knew back when I was a kid, and when I was talking about like the other day when I did my spiritual awakening part 4, I believe it was, they did a laughing face, and then they had the spiral in the eyes, and that was to throw shade at me. I will tell you right now, that's one of the people that are right in with the church, but they have all the things, all the sins. And there's a possibility that maybe they just weren't happy with me because they tried to have sex with me and I wouldn't get intimate. Fool around with them, but I wouldn't go all the way. It's that those ones that feel that they're God's gift to women or God's gift to men. And it's like, dude, I just I hope one day that those people will actually see their own truth. Mhm. I have that energy coming in right now. Yes, yeah. Oh, and they're trying to burn me. Yeah, loving it. Sí, padre, que ta and look at this. Yeah, yeah. Means I'm on fire. Yesterday's too cool, eh? I just heard the word psychotic. No, enlightened. And they like to call people who are enlightened psychotic, not psychotic. But we always say each to their own, right? But those are the ones that they're trying to cover up their own stuff. You see that? Because he's a channel, just like I'm a channel. We're two very intense channels. So if we're ever out and about and you see something going on with us, don't judge us for it because we're probably channeling aspects of you and it's just coming through us. Okay? It's not to throw shade on these people, it's to say, you might want to look at your own before judging someone else's. So it's a beautiful day, and I'm going to figure out. I'm going to get my poop together. Um, her and I are probably the same age. I'm 50. I'm an old fart, but I'm proud to be an old fart, half a century. But I'm actually extremely ancient, like you all. So I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to do a card. The most beautiful thing we can experience is mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. I wrote a poem in '99 when I ended up in the psychiatric unit because I used the Ouija board, and that's when shit started happening. I wrote it. It was life. Life is a challenge. It works in mysterious ways. It has its ups, downs, and sometimes just upsetting. We live life for what? To be happy, sad, or just to be known, which is actually all the above because it's experience. It's the experience to come to you. With that being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone who wants and willing to receive themselves. I want you all to be big, bold, and brave. Most importantly, be yourself, be your authentic self, be true to yourself, be true to others, be who you are, not who somebody says you are. You have to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and know that you are more powerful and more strength than what you can comprehend at times. Sending you all love. Have a great week. Thank you for today,